we'd like to invite you to enjoy singing meditation. So I don't know, how many of you are familiar with our practice, Plum Village practice? Oh, very few. So maybe many of you came here thinking you're just going to sit in silence and meditate, but in our monastery we have many different ways of practicing meditation, and singing is one of them. And we'd like to share with you one song, a very joyful song, which we share with our children in our children's program. But actually, our adult friends like the song more than the children, so we sing it all the time. And this is a song about appreciating everything that's around us, the nature, the flowers, and mountains. And let's see, and then you want to keep both hands free, you need to use gestures as well. So let us try together. So maybe I go through the lyrics first. So first line is, I like the roses. And you can look at brothers and sisters. Yeah, I like the roses. I like the daffodil. Yeah. I like the mountain. Yeah. And I like the rolling hills. And I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down. And then I like the roses, I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down. I like the roses, I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down. One more time? Okay. Higher? Okay. Okay, we try again, and my sister asked me to sing a little bit higher. Okay, we'll try. Okay. Can we start? I like the roses, I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down. I like the roses, I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down. So in our monastery, instead of applauding, we give flowers to each other like this. We're very happy. Thank you.
Dear friends, so this song, it's a practice song which is very wonderful when you can use it anytime, in the subway, everywhere, when you walk, and it's very easy. So it's in, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, and we have to do the different action and release. Present moment, wonderful moment. So it's even when we're stressed or we worry about an exam or different things, we can sing this song. So we do it together. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release, present moment, wonderful moment. Again. In, out,
Good evening and welcome everybody on behalf of the monastics here. I'm really happy and grateful and pretty impressed to see so many people coming tonight. And I guess you're missing many things. Coming here, you have to sacrifice something, maybe your daily soap, your favorite daily soap, or you're missing a date. But I promise you, you're not missing your appointment with life. You will meet and have a great appointment with life tonight. So, as Reka wonderfully said, we want to thank you for Mindful NYU and Global Spiritual Life to give us the opportunity to share with you the habit of happiness and how to live in the present moment and how to apply mindfulness joyfully in our daily lives, because it can improve our life qualities and create a new social network, so much needed. Our community is a very young and spiritual community in age. So our average age is in the 30s, and we founded in 1982 by a venerable Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh, who lives in exile since 1966 in France, and was nominated for the Peace Nobel Prize by Martin Luther King in 1966. We are happy, these lovely sisters and the two brothers. We are happy to share our fruit of the practice of mindfulness and meditation with you, how you can also live happily in the present moment, how you can make happiness a habit by touching the present moment and dwelling in it during the day, not being distracted by so many things, and also include your pain and suffering that makes true happiness possible. I would like our brothers and sisters to introduce themselves shortly, so you know who we are. Maybe we can share our monastic names. We have Vietnamese names, and what do they mean, where we come from. Because I'm actually the only one who's living in Blue Cliff. In the moment we're having a US tour, and we are from all over the world, from our centers here. So let's just go around. Sister Luknim, would you like to start? Share your name, what your name means, and where you're from, and you can share something else, whatever you like. Your favorite animal, your favorite color, or your aspiration in being a nun, or why do you like to practice mindfulness? Tell us something about it.
Dear friends, good evening. So my name is Sister Luknim. It means adorned with true strength, power. As you can hear, I'm French. And I live in Plain Village, France, in the Lower Hamlet. Something I discover that I can play basketball more mindfully. Thank you.
Dear friends, so you have tonight you can enjoy two French accents. So my name is Sister Dao Nim, which means adorned with peach blossoms, and I come from France, and I live at the moment in Plum Village, Paris. We have a small center where we are 8 sisters who live in the suburb of Paris to offer all the friends who live in the city and need a place of refuge, and they can come. And it's near a beautiful river called the Marne River. So, and I like to bicycle mindfully along the Marne River. That's something that I enjoy doing and give me a lot of happiness. So if you travel and you want to come and visit Paris but still practice, you can come and stay at our little monastery called Maison de l'Inspire. It's mean the house where we breathe, or inspire in French means to get inspired to practice. Thank you.
dear friends. My name is Brother Bautit. It means Brother Jewel. I'm originally from India, and now I stay at a center called Deer Park Monastery in Southern California. My favorite animal is, I think, a giraffe, because it's so tall. And, really, because it has, I think, the biggest heart of all the mammals. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, dear friends. My name is Sister Chanya. Chai means purification, and we all receive the Dharma name from our teacher, and this becomes a practice for life. So I'm practicing the art of purification through the practice of mindfulness. I don't know if you can guess from my accent where I come from. I'm originally from Japan, and now I live also in Plum Village in France, in New Hamlet. Sister Lokim lives in Lower Hamlet, and I live in New Hamlet. We have many nuns, about 120, 30 of us, so we have 2 different communities for nuns. So I hope you can come and visit us sometime in the summer. Summer is very beautiful, but also other times beautiful. So you can come anytime, you're always welcome. Favorite animal, color, or food? I love eating, so the practice of mindfulness helps me to really enjoy whatever I'm eating. I think for the moment, just 2 days ago in your monastery in New York, we had a wonderful barbecue, and we had a veggie burger and like tofu dogs and the guacamole, and that was pretty good.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sister Mamunging. It means adornment with bright-mindedness. That's rather long, so I tend to go by Sister Brightness for short. I'm Vietnamese American, and I currently reside in Deer Park Monastery in Southern California. So if you're ever in Southern California, please do swing by to visit our monastery. My favorite food, I would have to say I love blueberries. Blueberries.
Thank you, dear sisters and brothers. My name is Brother No Kong, like King Kong, but no Kong. And my favorite animal is a gorilla. I have Croatian roots. Was born and raised in Frankfurt, Germany, and lived my monastic life also in Plum Village in France, and came to the United States to Blue Cliff Monastery last year in October. One word on giraffes, because you mentioned the giraffes. I read recently that, did you know that if a giraffe drinks a coffee, it would turn cold until it reaches the belly? Because so, I never thought about that, right? We want to give you a short overview before we start the evening, so you have an idea of what is happening tonight. But first of all, you know that the present moment cannot make us happy. We have to make the present moment a happy moment. And we will learn tonight how to do it, that we don't need external conditions, but that those things happening and are generated from the inside. So we want to ask you to settle down and truly arrive at your seat. One more thing on eating, you found tangerines on your seat, don't eat them. Dare to eat them, I will jump personally down and grab you. Therefore, for an eating meditation, a tangerine meditation, we will offer later. So please keep them, and Brother Bautit will give you further instructions later. So we would like you to settle down, arrive in the present moment, breathe in and out, relax your shoulders, find a comfortable position. All those sit upwards, like you're feeling really comfortable. And we will start with a guided sitting meditation shortly to arrive in the present moment. And it gives you also an opportunity to learn how you can do it at the bus station, in the metro station, in your office, at a chair, at home, lying down, wherever, how to bring yourself and calm yourself down, your mind, to relax your body, to calm your thoughts, and to really put your random thoughts away and arrive in the present. Sister Luknium will guide us through that. And after that, we will listen to some inspiring, encouraging words from Sister Manyam, a very joy and spiritual sister from Deer Park, South California. They're all jolly guys down there. And she will tell us more about how we can cultivate the habit of happiness in our daily lives. Brother Bautit will offer us a Tangerine meditation after that, and then we will like to offer space for question and answers. So if you are already experienced practitioner in meditation, and you find difficulties, you can place your questions there. If you're a complete newbie and you don't know how to start off, please ask. But try to find questions concerning the practice, questions from the heart, and not why you guys shave your hair, or why are your robes brown. We can then discuss that later. So try really to focus, and often your question can help many other people also to answer their own questions. I personally believe the questions, when you have questions, you have an answer already too, otherwise you couldn't put a question out. So we will support each other to help find those answers we actually already know inside. And then, after the question and answers, we would like to present our Wake Up Young People's Movement, nationwide and New York based, and end with a walking meditation, which I'm very honored and grateful to present. With a short introduction here, I will introduce you into walking meditation, what it means, and then we would like to ask everybody, because it's a small place here, and to enjoy walking outside in Washington Square, but also more later. So thank you so far, and I wish you a wonderful, fruitful, and joyful evening. I'm sure we will have it. I'll pass on to Sister Luknium then for the guided meditation.
So I invite with some of the bell to start. And we can just come back to our breathing. Be aware of our posture. Trying to have our back straight but relaxed. And maybe having our 2 feet grounded on the floor. And really try to have a comfortable position. When I breathe in, I am aware that I am breathing in. When I breathe out, I am aware that I am breathing out. In breath and out breath. aware of the air coming in, my abdomen rising. I breathe in, aware of the air coming out, and my abdomen falling. I breathe out, air come in, rising, air come out, falling. When I breathe in, I can feel peace and calm and ease inside and outside around me. When I breathe out, I send this peace energy to my body and my mind. Breathing in, feeling the peace inside and outside. Breathing out, sending peace. My face, my eyes, nose, ears, neck, my shoulders, my arms, my back, my lungs. I breathe in. And when I breathe out, I smile and send love to my body and care for my body. Breathing in, aware of my whole body. Breathing out, love and care. Breathing in, I relax my whole body. Breathing out, I smile, just a gentle smile on my face to show and express my gratitude and my love to my body. I breathe in, I know that I am breathing in. When I breathe out, I know that I am breathing out. In breath and out breath. Just being aware of the breathing and relaxing. Bringing peace and calm inside, wherever we are. Present moment, happy moment. Dear friends, you can open your eyes. This is the end of the guided meditation. I hope it was okay with my French accent. And now, Sister Mangying will share a few words with us about the habit of happiness that we can bring into our daily life.
So, dear friends, again, my name is Sister Mummy, or Sister Brightness. May I just ask for a raise of hands, how many of you go to NYU? Oh, very nice to meet you all. I'm also very curious. How many of you are always connected to the internet? Come on, let's be honest. You can raise your hands a little higher. Okay. So this evening, I'd like to share with you a very ancient system of connection, which is similar to the internet, but at the same time not similar. So when we're connected to the internet, we have a lot of information that is readily there at any given moment. And I don't know about you, but I noticed lately, whenever our friends travel to a new place, the first thing they ask is there internet connection? Many of you already carry phones with you, so you're always connected. But sometimes I wonder, what about this ancient connection, which is called the connection between your body and your mind? Nowadays, we tend to be quite busy with our work, with our lives, with our families, and a lot of times our body is in one spot, but our mind is elsewhere. I may be sitting here, but thinking about someone in Vietnam or someone in France, or about work. And when I was little, I used to think that was superpowers, to be in one spot, but to be able to think about so many things and to have your thoughts in so many different directions and multitasking. I seriously thought that I was pretty cool, until I found out everybody could do that. I'm a slow learner. For this ancient connection, we have many ways of achieving the connection of body and one, the connection between body and mind, I'm sorry. As you can see, our brother's joke is still lingering in my mind about the everything in one and you change in oneself. In any case, so many of us may have heard of the word mindfulness, and it's kind of like a popular word, or not as popular anymore. And we tend to think of it as maybe a tool or something that help us to get to a destination or to a desired place. Like mindfulness can help you with business, or mindfulness can help you in the military. But in fact, mindfulness originally came with the word right mindfulness. And when I first heard about right mindfulness, I thought Buddhism was, non-discriminative and all-embracing and inclusive. But actually, the word right mindfulness doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's standing there pointing a finger saying, that's right, that's wrong, in a good and a bad sense. But right mindfulness can help us to see what causes us suffering and what causes us happiness, and how to avoid causing unnecessary suffering for oneself and for others, and how to create happiness for ourselves and for others. And one of right mindfulness's element is to be present in the here and the now. And when we are present in the here and the now, that means both our bodies and our minds have to be there in one place. So if we're sitting here and our mind wanders off elsewhere, either in the past to a regret that we wish we had done better, or to the future, maybe some future assignments that are due, then we can gently bring our mind back to our body. And we tend to resort to our breath, and that's called mindful breathing. It's very natural for our minds to also become calmed and to be present. And when our bodies are connected to our minds, we can see things a lot more clearer. Like sometimes I may be sitting here and it may look like I'm staring at someone, but in fact, I don't see this person at all. All I see is my projects, things I need to get done. But when our bodies and minds are connected, in the same way that when we are connected to the internet, we are presented with a wealth of information. When our minds and bodies are connected, we are presented with a wealth of understanding. But the breath is always there, whether we are poor, whether we are rich, whether we are traveling, or whether we are staying put in one spot. And when we use awareness, another word for right mindfulness, when we are aware of our in-breath and out-breath, we can already bring our minds back to our bodies. And when we can be aware of our bodies, it's a lot easier to be aware of our minds and our different thoughts and our different feelings. When we are aware of our body, and then when we are aware of our minds, it allows us to see things as they are. For example, if I am carried away by my irritation at a person, when I'm carried away by it, I may likely exaggerate the situation. I may say, well, she said this, and she said that, and etc. But when I'm aware, okay, I have irritation mounting in me, I'm going to calm myself with my mindful breathing. Then now I become an observer. I'm not carried away by my irritation. And then when I'm calm, then I can see and acknowledge, yes, I'm irritated. However, I don't have to act out of my irritation. And when I'm calm enough and I have enough space inside of me, then I can bring myself to understand maybe where this person is coming from. Did she say that out of a misunderstanding? Did she have the wrong information? Did she not have enough sleep? And this kind of questioning, it's not to make up excuses so that we can dismiss the event, but it's a way for us to understand others and understand ourselves, so that we don't have to allow ourselves to drown in only our emotions, our strong emotions of irritation, of anger, of sadness, of fear, of anxiety. And I'd like to also connect this to our idea of happiness and our idea of suffering. Because awareness can help us to see things clearly as they are. It can help us to see what we can do to improve the situation and what we can do to avoid adding fuel to the flames. So I had an idea. One of my examples of an idea of happiness was a long time ago. My older sister took me to the DMV, and I had to take a written exam. And of course, I was pretty nervous because I thought, I want to get it on the first try. I don't want to have to go through 3 trials like other friends that I knew. Because I thought, I'm a perfectionist, I can't let my sister down, I have to be smart. And my idea of happiness was just to get the permit on the first try. And I was a little jittery, and I was worried because I didn't really study. I didn't really look through the book. I just thought, okay, common sense, I'll just wing this. And when I sat there, my sister looked at me and she said, why are you so nervous? What are you worrying about? And I told her, well, Dad, he's always yelling at us. He's always telling us that we have to be perfect and get straight A's and everything. And my sister just rolled her eyes and she told me, it doesn't matter if you fail this first exam, this first written test. So what? You fail this time, just take the test the second time around. And I looked at her and I thought, really? That's okay? And then I thought, oh. And so that changed my perspective. And then I looked around in the room at all the other people who were taking the written exam. And I realized they all had gray hair. They all had white hair. And I thought, oh, I have a lot of time to catch up if I miss this first exam. It was such a relief to let go of my idea of happiness, being that I have to get this right the first time around. I have to prove that I'm a perfectionist, that I'm smart, that everything's easy, I can wing my way through life. That was really silly, but after I let go of that idea, suddenly it was a huge relief. And it was a lot more easier for me to accept that if I fail an exam, obviously it's because I didn't study or because I didn't understand the material. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I'm worthless and all of these bad, these unwholesome and unhealthy ideas that I tack onto myself. And then it was a whole lot easier to breathe and to cultivate happiness from within. I used to think that happiness was a standard that I had to live by. I had to get a good education, I had to get a really fancy nice car, I had to, land a really good career, an ideal partner, a house, etc. But then I looked around and I saw a lot of my elders, a lot of my friends and my family, they had all of those quote-unquote standards of happiness, but they weren't really happy because they were always running. It's just running one thing after the next. And for example, not just people around me, but even myself. For example, I may think, okay, I really want everyone to like me. I want to be popular in school. And so I try everything. I sacrifice everything, whether it's my health, whether it's my sleep, whether it's my morals, to make this particular person like me. And if this person likes pineapple, then suddenly I'll like pineapple too. Or if this person is good at sports, then suddenly I'll pick up whatever sport that person is playing. And sometimes I'll even act dumb so that I could, get some help from this person in this particular subject. In other words, my happiness was defined as this person has to like me, and I have to do everything in my power to make this person like me. And I'll sacrifice my health if I have to. If I need to wear high heels, if I need to, cut my hair in a certain way, follow fashion, and turns out to like me, I realized I was still left unsatisfied. And I thought, oh, okay, now what? What's next? And that's so both interesting and so weird to me, because I thought I would be happy after this person liked me. But in the end, I realized I was just lazy. I didn't like myself. So I just looked outwards and hoped somebody else will like me for me. And so this idea was really, when I look down at the roots, it's really just my search for happiness equaled my search for love. So mindfulness or awareness really helped me to look at my actions and my thoughts and my speech to see, am I taking the shortcut to happiness, or am I taking not just the long route, but also getting lost as well? And a lot of times, our ideas of happiness are actually the very things that are obstacles to our happiness. So when we have mindfulness, it's not just a tool for us to de-stress and then to run back into a frenzy of all the things that we need to do. With awareness, it can help us to develop gratitude for all the things that we do have. And when we have gratitude in our hearts, naturally we will be happy. And when we have enough happiness, we can embrace any difficult challenges that come our way.
So, dear friends, now we can enjoy Tangerine meditation, eating our tangerine in mindfulness. So, since there are many of us here, I think we have a tangerine for around 2 people, so we can share with the person next to us. So, we can lift our tangerine. And if you don't have one, the person next to us will be okay. So we can just take a look at it for a couple of seconds. Just enjoy the color and just look at it. And then we can enjoy smelling it. And also we can just feel the tangerine a little bit. See the texture of the tangerine. And we can pass it to our friend. And enjoy them also, letting them see and smell and explore the tangerine a little bit. It's nice to share together. And after that we can close our eyes. So now we can imagine the seed of a tangerine tree, and someone plants the seed with a lot of love and care into the earth. And slowly with time, the sun shines on the seed and there's rain and many different conditions. And this seed sprouts and grows into a tiny plant. And time passes, and this plant keeps growing slowly. Some days and months go by, the seasons change, and this plant grows into a beautiful tree. And after some time, this tree starts bearing fruit. And then the sun shines on this fruit, and it starts to ripen. Fruit grows sweeter, and then it's ripe. And then someone plucks the tangerine for us, so we can open our eyes again. really be aware of this tangerine that have come about for this tangerine to be here right now. We can be aware that this tangerine is a gift of the whole universe. The sunshine, the earth, the rain, the sky, and also so many people have contributed to this tangerine. So we can have this feeling of gratitude, this feeling of wonder, that this tangerine is here for us to enjoy together. So with that feeling of gratitude and wonder, we can start to slowly and mindfully peel our tangerine. So I know it looks very delicious, but maybe we can wait to eat it together. So once we finished peeling it, we can again just take a moment to look at it. Look at the tangerine, and then after that, we can take one section of it, we can take one piece. We can offer one piece or more to our friend. And now, slowly, we can enjoy eating it together. So we can put it in our mouth and then chew it slowly and really savor and relish the taste of the tangerine. See how it feels, like the sweetness or the sourness of it. Yeah, just enjoy eating it slowly together. So this may be the longest that we've ever taken to eat a tangerine. But possibly it might be the most delicious one that we've eaten also. So this is also one of our main practices, our basic practices, eating meditation. So whenever we eat something, we can really take the time to be present with the food, generating this feeling of gratitude for all the different conditions that have come together, all the love and the hard work that's in the food, to really appreciate and savor and relish the food. Maybe usually when we eat, we have many things to think about, or we're in a rush, we need to go on to the next thing, and we really can't enjoy the food. But if we eat in this way, we can see that even if we eat a little bit, we can really be nourished by that food and really be present for that. So hopefully we can find some time during our day. We could try one meal. It could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Maybe just the first few minutes, like 5 minutes. If we can try to eat in silence and really enjoy eating that food.
Good evening. Thank you so much for this gift. Enjoyed it very much. So I've been, trying to practice or practicing mindfulness or thinking and practicing. And the hardest thing I've encountered is self-love. And I just, there are moments I feel I'm there, and I just want to know from any of you or all of you, just maybe a moment or something where anything about this, like, how do you get to this place of like feeling self-love, or what does it mean for you to like fully forgive yourself so you can accept all of that's inside and really love, so you can be.
So the first thing that comes in my mind is this is a process. So it will not just come like this. And the love is growing and growing and growing. But it's very important to start with ourselves. So it's a very good question, because we cannot love others if we cannot love ourselves. So it's very important to start with ourselves. Our sister mentioned about patience, and this is, I think, the most important thing for my own experience, to be patient with myself, and it allowed me to accept. So I prefer to use the word patience rather than accept. It gives space and time. And another element that helped me in that process is to not consider myself as a me, as a separate entity. But when I discover deeply that my parents, my ancestors are in me, then something changed deeply, and helped me to develop love for myself, and also being in touch with the fact that I am part of the whole universe. It's also one important element for my own practice, and to be able to also receive love. So it's also another point. So every time, for example, we will do walking meditation at the end, and walking meditation is one of our main practice in Plum Village. And whenever I touch the earth and I bring awareness that I am on this beautiful planet, and I feel so much gratitude for this planet Earth, and it fills my heart with this love, and so it's just fill my whole cells and my whole body, and it's also part of the process of accepting the love and generating the energy of love. So it's not my love, it's not your love, it's not, so it's just the energy of love that I just be aware of, that is here, and it's around, and it's, in fact, it's everywhere. And it's everywhere. So the more mindful we are, and the more we can see that love is everywhere.
Hi, hello. Okay, I'm kind of hesitant in asking this question because I don't want it to sound rude, but this has been a question on my mind for a while. How does someone use their libidinal energy as a part of their practice to support their spiritual practice?
It's a difficult question for sisters and brothers, for monastics. And a bit intimate too, right? Because we don't have sexual relationships anymore, and that's the reason why I became a monk, not to go into the suffering again, this circle. What should I do to be attractive, and how can I work and play with my sexual energy? But actually becoming a monk or a nun, you're not losing this energy, but you're having a distance to sexual relationships. But we're learning a lot also. We're learning to stop and to look deeply into things. We are learning that there are three vital energies in our lives that keep us alive and keep us going. One of them is sexual energy, which is a very old instinct that keeps us alive and makes it possible that we are all here. And the other one is the breath that is with us all the time, day and night, whether we are conscious and aware of it or not. And the other is our spirit, our volition, the consciousness. So those three energies are very essential in keeping us alive. And to make it, to don't give a big talk about the sexual energy, what it means for me, it's a very great motivator, but I don't use it anymore to attract somebody or to fulfill a sexual need, but I transform it into this and integrate it into one of these three life energies. I just make it a part, as we said, the tangerine is a product of the sun, the earth, the water, the farmer, the seed, everything is in there. So my sexual energy also contains more than just bodily desire. But it's an energy that can make me very creative and that can make me very peaceful. And I don't have to have sex or a desire in order to awaken this energy. So see it as a one part of a bigger thing. This is what we learned now in the eating meditation, to see in one object, to see the many conditions that made that happen, and that on the one side it takes the power of it, so you don't lose your freedom by being sexual or by awaking sexual energy, but it actually opens the door for you, for your creativity and for your being and for your life, and makes your life bloom, blossom, and go on and forward, and make you strong. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have a very active mind, and sometimes I know that's very human. And sometimes I can sit through an entire meditation and notice that I was just in story. And then, the time is up and I go about my day, and that happens often, so that it feels like it was time just spent in story, which I could have done while I was brushing my teeth or doing any other activity. As a result, I find that sometimes I'm less inclined to want to meditate again. There's resistance that comes up. So I know I'm making a statement rather than a question, but there's kind of a question in there if it can be found.
Maybe the question is, how can I stop thinking?
So dear friends, thank you so much for the question. I think many of us have that same kind of question regarding meditation. And in our tradition, like we have shared earlier, we don't just consider sitting meditation as meditation. So whether we are brushing our teeth, like our sister shared earlier, or drinking tea or eating, no matter what we're doing, we practice mindfulness, and that is our meditation. And for me personally, before coming in touch with this tradition, plant village practice, I also tried other traditions, like especially like Japanese Zen, and did more hours of sitting. Like you wake up early and you sit for like an hour, and you walk and you sit again. And then, and sometimes my mind was busy, sometimes it wasn't so busy. But often when my mind wasn't so busy, I was just physically tired. Like I was too tired to think. So I would just sit there. But then either way, whether I was thinking or not thinking, once I finish my sitting session and I start my day, of course I start thinking, and then my everyday life just goes as pretty much the same as if whether I was doing the sitting meditation in the morning or not. So what I found really wonderful about this practice is that we do take time to sit in the morning to quiet our mind, but we also continue practicing throughout the day. And one of my favorite practices I'd like to share with you is, besides eating meditation, which I think we can all practice 3 times a day, I also like to practice in a happy room, and happy room is another name we use in Plum Village for toilets. So I think all of us, I don't know if you've ever counted, we visit the bathroom several times a day. And once you're in the little stall, you have your little private space and nobody's bothering you. And you have all the freedom to just sit and just relax. And I really take my time. And maybe my brothers and sisters might have noticed, like when we travel together. Sorry, I try not to give out too much information. But we all stop at the rest stop or we go into the bathroom together. I'm usually the last one to come out because I really enjoy this time. And to just sit and relax and come back to my breathing and be, I do a quick body scan to see how, if I'm holding tension in my body and how I'm feeling. And especially after my father had colon cancer, and I witnessed how painful that was. And especially after seeing that, I became so grateful to have healthy digestive system that things can come in, and no matter what I eat, I eat sometimes junk food, but even if I eat toxic food, my body is able to eliminate things, and I'm just so grateful to my body for that. And I'm also so grateful to have the toilet because, sometimes we're so hungry, and if we don't have the food we want to eat, we can still go on, we can still survive, but if we really want to go use the toilet, and if it's not there, and it's a great suffering, seriously. So I usually, when I enter the bathroom, this is a monastic mindful manner. Before we enter the toilet, we knock the door 3 times. And so we take that moment to come back to our breathing and knock 3 times gently, even if we don't think there's anybody in the toilet. And then I enter my little private space and I actually bow to the toilet. And I do my business, and then when I finish, I also bow to the toilet. The same thing I do when I enter Zendo, a meditation hall, to sit on the nice, beautiful purple cushion and mat. So, and it only takes 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but that's something you can do throughout the day. And I find that way of practicing more useful than just trying to do a long session of sitting in the morning and then forget all about being mindful throughout the day. Just to install those little moments of mindfulness throughout the day. And that way you can also save time too. You don't have to make special time for the practice. So I really recommend it for busy students. Thank you.
Kiss Mother Earth with every step. Kiss her with the sole of our feet. Saying thank you with every step.